The last few albums I did with Sabbath just weren't really satisfactory to me at all. And I've been writing lots and lots of stuff which I thought were more for me rather than the Sabbath stuff was, so it was just like a lot of frustration, things building up in me. And I thought, to me, Sabbath had come to the end and it just wasn't happening anymore, so. And I've always wanted to do a solo thing, or to get a band together and do, my music. And so I did. I totally lost confidence in the Sabbath thing, and I knew that there was so much more in me to do that I couldn't do in Sabbath, and it was really restricting me. A lot of the stuff that I was writing, I'd play to other people in Sabbath, and I just didn't really get it. And because of that frustration, made me even more determined to see my stuff through, because I knew I wasn't getting any sort of feeling or pleasure or enjoyment from the stuff we were doing in Sabbath. And so that did give me the focus and the confidence to do my own stuff.
Here is one of the few Geezer Butler solo interviews. This is from a 1996 German program called Noisy Mothers. Here he talks about not being happy with Cross Purposes, why he decided to leave Black Sabbath at that time, writing his first, real solo album, finding his new band members, just his overall thoughts of 1996. So here's the interview as broadcast with a live clip in the middle. So, without further ado, Geezer Butler.
Well, Dean, the drummer, I was working with him on the Aussie album, and I played him some of the stuff that I was doing, and I was telling him how hard it is I was finding to find a drummer in England to do the solo stuff. And Dean listened to the stuff and he said, I want to do it. So that was the drummer taken care of.
Mr. Joe Holmes on guitar, Mr. Dean Castanova on drums, Mr. Geezer Butler on bass.
And Bert, I called up Scott Koenig, Bert Fear Factory's manager, and asked him if he knew any singers that had an aggressive feel to the voice, but could sing melodically as well. and you know, something that you could understand, because like a lot of singers, the aggressive ones, I haven't got a clue what they're singing about. And I'd auditioned a few singers in England, but they were more in the traditional, like Dio sort of sound, and it just didn't fit with the music. And so Scott sent me the Fear Factory CD about 6 weeks before it was released. And he said, just tell me if this is the right thing, if this is the sort of thing you're looking for. And I said, yeah. Listened to Bert, and he just blew me away. And I called Scott back and says, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And he said, well, Bert will do it, because, you know, he's over in England promoting the stuff. And as I say, Bert came around, listened to the stuff, and says, yeah, I want to do it. To me, it was just an ambition come true, and I didn't really think about the other side, you know, like this side of having to do the interviews and selling it and everything like that. To me, it was just something that I started at home and taken into the studio, and just a goal to aim for. And then, to me, you know, I did it.
It's pretty interesting that Geezer and Bill Ward would both do a song about, you know, youth gun violence. Geezer's was hard, heavy. Bill's, you know, acoustic guitar, real soft, almost, you know, beautiful, which is kind of like Black Sabbath. They go from the hard to beautiful, you know, from the heavy to the light. So it's kind of interesting that Sabbath has that, you know, within their genetic makeup, and they do that with their solo albums. You know, it's kind of interesting him talking about cross purposes, because Tony Martin has said that he asked Geezer about, you know, do you want to write more? And Geezer's like, no, you just do it. So, I don't know. I don't want to say either one is right. I don't want to say either one is wrong, but Geezer probably could have had more influence on that album. Like all of you, I wasn't there, so I really can't answer that question. The only people who can are the two Tonys, Geezer and Jeff Nichols, because they were the only ones that were there. To be fair, what he was writing was not Black Sabbath material. You know, the songs that went on the GZR albums was different than Black Sabbath. In my opinion, I do not think they would have meshed well together. It was more aggressive, more 90s, more, you know, 2000s, which is fine, but it was not really, you know, Sabbath. You know, Ozzy didn't sing that way, Dio didn't sing that way, Tony Martin didn't sing that way, so it was not, you know, going to work anyways. It was for the best that Geezer left, because those albums are pretty darn good, so I'm kind of glad he did. So, you like Black Sabbath videos? You came to the right place. Check out my channel. I have tons up already and more coming in the future. Now, what do I have coming up? Well, you have to stay tuned to find out. So like this video and subscribe to my channel, because you never know what I have in my collection that's coming up next.